I'm Patrick Watson, I'm an astrologer, and you're watching Big Fat Astro Vlog, and today I'm going to be delivering a monthly horoscope for all Aries risings out there for the month of September 2018 in 5 minutes. So we have a lot to get through today. So the first thing you should know about is on September 3rd, this is when Venus is entering its so-called pre-retrograde shadow period, because this is the degree that Venus eventually goes direct at after its retrograde station. So it will appear to go backward through the skies. So this is really, in some sense, the beginning of the Venus retrograde transit, because this is where Venus will begin to start going over the degrees where it will eventually go back on. So in this time, especially since Venus rules romance and relationships, and it's in your 7th house of partnerships and others, this will be a time for you as an Aries risings to kind of look out for what the Venus retrograde might be about for you, and it will likely have to do with romantic partnerships of some sort, especially of the scandalous variety, because when Venus goes retrograde, that's when we kind of tend to see like sex scandals in the news and people kind of behaving badly, not behaving as they should according to customs of society. So that's kind of how that will affect you. Let's skip ahead now to September 6th. This is when Saturn stations direct. Saturn stationing direct in your house of career, reputation, bosses, public life, etc. So Saturn's been going retrograde, and now it's finally stopping, and it will be making kind of a statement. So Saturn tends to say no. So there may be situations in your life right now where there's maybe some kind of uncertainty or doubt about some aspect of your career in public and professional life, and Saturn's going to kind of finally settle on an answer, saying like, here are the boundaries and structures, and here are the rules that you are going to be following henceforward. So this could take the form of kind of a punishment or admonishment, or a discovering kind of new limitation on what you do in your career. The next thing that you should know about is the fact that there will be a new moon on September 9th. We can see that the moon will be conjunct the sun at 16 degrees. The important thing to know about this is that it is exactly opposite Neptune. So in general, this will be a time for illusions. Don't believe anything you see around this time. September 9th is kind of going to be a day where things are not going to be as they appear. Appearances can be deceiving. And especially things which appear to be detailed might actually be completely falsified or fantastic or fanciful. So keep a look out for that. And let's see, the next thing you should know about is the day after that new moon is the day that Venus ingresses into Scorpio. So you can see on September 9th, this is when Venus is now ingressed into Scorpio. So this is the beginning of now we're getting really close to the Venus retrograde transit proper once we get into October. And Venus will be bringing its specific significations from your chart, which usually have to do with either possessions and like your stuff, your valuables, as well as the topic of relationships and partnerships, because Venus rules your 2nd and 7th with Aries rising, and it will be taking that into the realm of the 8th house, which is a bit more shady, I guess, for lack of a better term. It's associated with sort of darker topics, so it can be a time when you may find that you're mixing with people who maybe are unbecoming of you, or mixing with people who may have a potential to cause problems for you, even though things are kind of fun. And the Venus transit into Scorpio is also important because you can see here that there's going to be a square between Venus, Mars, and Uranus, and that'll be a very tense configuration, potentially a very either sexually or violently charged kind of dynamism in the air. This is a difficult aspect to interpret on an individual level with 40 seconds on the clock, but this is definitely a date to kind of look out for, September 11th. Next thing you should know is that on September 20th, that's when we're going to see Mercury kind of be reborn in your 6th house. So this is a time to take care of, old business, all documents that you haven't taken care of, especially things to do with your health or work and employment. This may be times to make sure you've dotted your I's and crossed your T's. And the last thing you should know about is that there's a full moon on September 24th at 2 Aries, and that is square Saturn in your 10th house. So that full moon should have something to do with some of those Saturn themes I spoke about earlier in regards to your career. So I'm now out of time. Thank you so much for watching. If you want to continue seeing these horoscopes every month, please consider supporting me on Patreon with everyone else, and that really helps me keep going here. So thank you for watching, and subscribe.